So yeah, I guess I'm gonna start out just by showing you around, showing you the hardware. So this is the probe. It's two pieces. So this is a measuring head, and you can see there's this magnetic. There's a magnet and slots and golden pins, and this piece here is part of a Renishaw probe base that I disassembled and put into this new housing with the 1/8 inch shank. Yeah, so it's a very repeatable interface, and you just put them together, and the balls and slots and magnets hold it together in place there. So okay, so that's the probe, and oh yeah, I should also mention there, so you have the probe end, and then I have some electronics here that interface the probe to the PocketNC. Basically, this is there's just a transistor in there and a little circuit that pulls down a pin 22 on the BeagleBone Black in the PocketNC. So you'll notice, looking at my machine, I have a little bit of non-standard stuff in there. There's some wires hanging out from the machine here. This is the wiring now. So there's just these three wires hanging out here. It's power, 3.3 volts, and pin 22 of the BeagleBone Black. I just have those wires soldered onto there, and that thing hanging out. And there's a transient voltage suppression diode in there, a big fat one in shrink tube. So in case it's what the idea of that diode is to protect pin 22 if you should zap the connector with static electricity. This is actually not the final solution for electrical integration. I have here a block of aluminum, and I'm planning on making a cover. So you can see it's a 2-pole connector. It's a slick connector, if I must say so myself. I like this connector. This thing will be replaced by this thing. This will be inside of the aluminum housing. Okay, so I'm going to do the Z calibration now. So to do the Z calibration, I have now a pin, just a 1/8 inch pin, the pin that came with the spindle, installed in the spindle, and I'm going to move the pin so it's 100 thousandths from the surface of the workpiece. Okay, now that I have the gauge block with it has a nice fit in between the pin and the workpiece there, I'm going to do a tool change to the probe, and so I have a special program for doing that. Some custom G code. So now the probe is moving down towards the workpiece and will stop when it hits the workpiece. Okay, so now the probe should be calibrated in the Z. Okay, now I'm going to do an XY calibration. Okay, so that is the whole calibration, and you can see that a dx and dy were calculated. So what I'm doing now, I'm just jogging the probe to approximately the corner, and that's where it needs to be for the probing routine to start. So what the probing routine did, it found the corner and then it made a move at the end to apply the dx, or the offsets, the probe offsets dx and dy. So you can see that's this final line.